I'm really glad that I slept on how I felt about this movie, but now I'm just confused. Hi, my name is Indigo. I make videos about K-pop, and I'm starting to diversify my channel because I like talking about my fixations. And before K-pop, I liked Marvel and DC. And Marvel and DC have been a huge part of my life, basically my entire life. I did not buy this shirt recently for the Superman movie. I've had this for a very long time. I am a huge fan of DC. I made a video talking about the DC animated universe. Those are my favorite animated movies. DC wins over Marvel there. So a little background for you, but yeah, I'm a huge DC fan, and I was really excited for this movie. I was so excited ever since I saw the trailers and who was going to be playing it. I didn't know David Cornswet at the time. I'm still not familiar with his work. However, I really liked how he looked as Superman. I love James Gunn. I love James Gunn's work. I think he's a phenomenal director. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are amazing. I did not see the third one, but I also heard it was tear-jerking and absolutely amazing. And I think James Gunn really showed a lot of the general public who feel a certain type of way about superhero movies, that superhero movies are for children and they're not serious and it's not cinema and you shouldn't be in a superhero movie, that these superheroes and these characters in general can have very fleshed out backgrounds and stories, and you can absolutely make amazing movies based on these characters. I mean, I went into the second Guardians of the Galaxy not really caring that much, and then I came out crying. And Star-Lord was one of my favorite characters for a while, because of James Gunn. So I think he's a phenomenal director. And I was just so excited. I also just love his aesthetic and his style. And I was ready to usher in a new DCU, one that was not completely dark and grunge. While I liked that style, I was excited for this new take that seemed more bright and colorful and comic booky and not as realistic as what we previously have had. I was so excited for this movie. And then I saw it. There are parts of this movie that I am absolutely in love with. But at the same time, there are parts of this movie that stuck out so much like a sore thumb that I couldn't fully enjoy it. There was a point in the movie where I started taking notes, which I will refer to. I have 3 pages front and back of notes. Do you know the last time I got so out of a movie that I started taking notes? Was Thor 4. Thor 4! That was a terrible movie. That movie was so bad. But this movie wasn't bad. I was really trying to get my feelings together when I came out the theater. And when I was like, this is a bad movie, I felt weird saying it because bad is not the right word. Like, to sit here and put Thor 4 in the same category as Superman is blasphemous. I can confidently say Thor 4 was bad. I cannot confidently say Superman was bad because it wasn't. But then if I say it's good, I would also feel weird about that. This movie made me feel confused like no other movie has ever made me feel. Not confused in the plot or not it was a confusing movie, because I wouldn't describe it as a confusing movie either. Hearing everyone else's reviews of this movie made me feel a little bummed out for myself because I wanted to be in love with this movie like everyone else was. Once again, I had been looking forward to this movie since the trailers have come out, and I am still so excited for what James Gunn is going to do for the DC universe. Like, I'm excited for this new general direction, and I feel like I truly understand what he's trying to do, and I feel like I truly understand where we're going. Before I get into my take and opinions of this movie, because I have 3 pages worth of them, David Cornswet is my favorite portrayal of Superman up until this point. While I like Henry Cavill as an actor, Henry Cavill was not my favorite portrayal of Superman. But also on top of that, ironically, the only Superman movie I did not see him in was Man of Steel, which I am going to watch it within the next couple of days because I heard it was stellar. And I feel like if I see that, then I'd be able to fully judge him fairly. But I have also seen Batman v Superman and Justice League. Like, every single thing Henry Cavill had been in playing Superman besides Man of Steel, I have seen. And, you know, I'm not going to blame bad writing on the actor. But period, next sentence, David Cornswet so far is my favorite portrayal of Superman. Also, my favorite portrayal of Batman is Christian Bale, but that is because I don't really like the other portrayals of Batman. Like, I call him Edward Cullen. That is not his name, but that is how I know him. Robert Pattinson, I thought he did a great job, but it's just personal taste, you know. I saw the movie and my first reaction was I didn't like it. I think I did a 5-minute long rant, probably longer, 10-minute long rant on my close friend story as soon as I got out the theater. I had a lot of thoughts. I was very passionate. Your passion is misplaced. When I told my mom that, I was like, you'll have a good time though. Like, in terms of the entertaining factor scale, it was an 8 out of 10. Like, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna have a good time. But when it came to the actual movie itself, I was like, what? Like, I'm not like a film critic or a film cynic. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't go to school for studying films. I'm the average moviegoer. However, you know, when you get older, there are more things that you are critical of because when you're younger, you kind of just accept everything. And when you get older, you have standards. And because I have seen every single Marvel movie up until Endgame, and I am pretty well versed in superhero movies. I feel like I've seen, in terms of Marvel and DC, I feel like I've probably seen 93% of them. Both animated and not animated, and I've watched the animated shows and everything, and I've read some of the comics. I'm pretty deep in it, you know what I mean? I've seen really well executed superhero movies, especially by James Gunn, which is why I think I'm extra critical of it. And you know what? Once again, Superman is not in the same category as Thor 4, but I felt the same way in terms of Taika Waititi literally, I don't want to say saving Thor, because Thor the Dark World, the second Thor was not that bad. I went back and I rewatched it and I was like, all right, you guys are just dragging it a little bit. It wasn't awful, but it also wasn't amazing. And then Taika made a phenomenal film. Thor Ragnarok made Thor one of my favorite Marvel characters now. That's such a good movie. So then when Thor 4 was coming out, of course we were all excited. And then we went to go see it and we were like, what the fuck happened? What happened? Given, I'm pretty sure, and correct me, I'm sure y'all will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was some shit that happened during the whole process of the film. I don't know if it was disagreements within writing or something, so I don't fucking know. I'm not blaming anything on Taika, just like how I'm not fully blaming Taika, just like how I'm not about to fully blame James Gunn. Also too, there's a whole subsection of the internet I found out on Reddit through New Rockstars and another channel that like actively shits on James Gunn and is trying to like sabotage this movie, which is fucking weird. And I want to make it very, very clear that I am not one of those people. Those people are fucking weird, okay? Because I have a certain standard for the movies that I watch, which I don't feel like is a high bar, but I feel like since I have a certain standard with these movies and a certain standard with James Gunn, I was just very confused about how it turned out, because once again, he has made some fucking bangers, and then I watched this and that added to my confusion. So first, I'm going to go over my notes, and my notes are the criticisms of the movie. And to me, this isn't negative, because criticisms and critiques are not negative. To me, it's more of if we had tweaked this, or if we had done this instead, or took out this, I think certain parts would have really hit emotionally the way I feel James Gunn wanted them to. But everyone else got it, so I guess it's just for me. I don't know. Also, comment down below if you feel the way I feel when I like talk about my opinions, because there was my friend who was saying that she felt the same way that I did. But besides that, I've only heard this was amazing. I haven't really heard any critiques or anything. Then I'm gonna go over the parts of the movie that I liked, because I wouldn't feel confused if I just disliked this movie. If I just disliked this movie, then the title of this YouTube video would be Superman So Bad, not Superman So Confusing. So I need to go over the parts of the movie that I liked, and then I'm just going to go over how I feel in depth about the future of the DCU, and then maybe you'll understand why I'm confused. Front, back, front, back, front. The first note I have is tell, not show dialogue. And I think because this pisses me off so fucking much, and I feel like the most recent Marvel movies, at least superhero movies in general, not only Marvel but superhero movies in general, the past at least maybe 6 years have been doing this, and just a lot of movies do this in general. Whenever this happens, it just angers me extra. I'm gonna give an example of showing and not telling, or telling and not showing. So in the second Spider-Man movie, at the end, I forgot who it was, but somebody was walking past the Sinister Six's costumes, I'm pretty sure, right? Walking past costumes, and every single costume was there. Then I think he walked past Rhino's costume and it wasn't there. So we as the audience, because we're grown, and even a child or a teenager would get this, we understand that if everyone's costume is where it's supposed to be and this person's costume is missing, that we can imply that they are no longer there. They have broken out, right? That could have been it. But then we have to cut to a clip of a news anchor being like, Rhino has escaped. That is telling. Showing would be showing something, showing that his costume is gone, and we as the audience do not need a 5-year-old baby explanation that the person is gone. So many movies are just so egregious in doing this, and I feel like this is a really good example of not being able to set a scene well, not being able to write well. I don't know what it is. And once again, every time I say this, I'm like, James Gunn has done such a phenomenal job. So I'm just confused. I am just confused. And once again, I'm not placing blame on him. I feel like it takes a village to make a movie. I'm just confused about how we went wrong. Anyone who's like educated in film, please comment down below. But I fucking hate the tell not show. I hate it so much. And it was happening so much in this movie. The tell not show dialogue, there were so many parts. There was one part where it worked, and I'll tell you why later. But yes, the tell not show dialogue, it was just a lot. And I think it started off, the one time where I've heard this happen, where it's like a movie starts and a guy walks up to a girl and is like, "Hello, my sister." People don't fucking talk like that. That is tell, not show, right? But I feel like the one time where it worked was, it was so subtle, right? Where Jimmy or this person was speaking to Lois, and then I think he said something stupid or annoying or whatever, and Lois was like, "Jimmy, that's not how blah blah blah." But you have said that before. If your friend or someone has said something stupid and you're like, "Bob, come on," like, that felt natural. So once again, I know we can do it, we're just not doing it. I thought the pacing of this movie was so fast. This movie is 2 hours long. That's long, which now that's just how long movies are, which I find it so interesting that movies now are longer than ever. Like, it's a trend for a movie to be at least 2 hours, but all our attention spans are fucking cooked. So there's more like short form 10 to 15-second content that's trending, and music lengths and music videos are becoming shorter, but movies are becoming longer. I find that interesting. I wonder why. But the pacing for this was too fast for me. They broke in so quick. And also, too, I'm going to be talking about this, but I felt like the moments that were supposed to be these big, huge, serious moments were undercut either by jokes or because of the fast pacing. Like, we broke into Superman's home. We broke into his fortress. That should be a big fucking deal. My problem wasn't that they just walked in, right? Because Lex had the DNA, which we already figured, which we figured out later. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that we just flew in, found it, walked in, boom, got it, now we're gone. And then also, too, like, I thought that, I forgot her name, but the girl with the nanotech, her, like, cutting all the robots and stuff, that looked cool, but the super robots or whatever didn't even put up a fight. Should there, and given now I understand the reason why they opened the door was because he had the Superman clone, they had his DNA, so somebody walking in wouldn't be a threat. But then when you automatically see that these people are not who you think they're going to be and they're intruders, should you not have things in place? An alarm system? Should the super bot's eyes not like turn red and go into like defend mode? Like, it was just very anticlimactic. Once again, we're breaking into Superman's fortress. This should be taken way more seriously than just, all right, walking in, got it, let's go. Like, it just happened so quick. And once again, this is a 2-hour movie. How does a 2-hour movie feel like the pacing is rushed? That is crazy. Oh, I have Clark Acts 5, but this is not a critique. I really liked this because I feel like seeing immaturity in superheroes is not as common. Or I wouldn't say immaturity, but like faults, if that makes sense. I feel like we saw some immaturity and we saw Tony Stark mature, which is great, but like also too the immaturity of Batman. He was a young Batman, so that makes sense. I just liked that. Like the interview scene, which was also hyped up to all hell. So because it was so hyped up, I was kind of expecting something a little more, but I still thought it was great. Shout out Rachel. Whenever David and Rachel kissed, I was so jealous of David. Rachel, if you're single and you like women, please message me. I've had a huge crush on her. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is one of my favorite TV shows ever, top 5. Anyway, I mean, they did a great job. I liked that scene, but I also liked, I guess I'll go into this in my what I liked section. But yes, I really like that. Clark acts like he's 5 years old. He acts so immature, which I think is really great for this plot point. But anyway, so the scene with the distraction when they let out like the monster and it was so small, and then the actor was like, or Lex's henchman was like, oh, the monster is so small, and the other one is like, it'll grow. And then it cuts to the monster being super big. So we already not only have a tell of one character telling another character the monster will grow, then we have a showing of the monster grew. Why did we need to add the news anchor saying thing grows. It grew. Like, and this too, which goes into the main problem I had with this movie. Every scene had a joke. This is really big coming from a Marvel fan, given I do think that a lot of non-Marvel fans over-exaggerate this sometimes, where it's like, oh, Marvel and their fucking jokes. But I do think part of it is absolutely based in reality. If this is how y'all feel every time you go and see a Marvel movie, I completely fucking understand. Because we have this huge monster. This is life-threatening. People could die. People could get injured, blah, blah, whatever. Why a joke does not have to take place in every single scene, especially during scenes where things should feel like a big deal or, oh shit, this is important. Like the beginning of this movie, we saw Superman get his ass fucking handed to him. We don't see that. We do not see that. He was Superman coughing up blood, having fucking 14 punctured whatever. That's a big fucking deal. So we have this big monster. And then we have the telling 3 times. Or we have the tell, the show, the tell. We didn't need that last tell. Given I understand thing, like that was a joke. But like, that was an unnecessary scene. Because once again, tell, it's going to get bigger. Show, it got bigger. Tell again. We're adults. Also, even a kid could understand that. Too many jokes during a threat, which is what I just said. How is something supposed to feel threatening? How is something supposed to feel like a big deal or a big scene that carries weight when they're doing jokes every 5 seconds? This movie felt like a comedy that was trying to pack serious scenes in it. So then the serious scenes that carried weight, because this is a world-threatening situation, because it always is, did not feel like I should care. Because everything was being thrown away as a joke. The jokes, the amount of, how many jokes have to be in a movie for it to be considered a comedy? But the thing is, there have been comedy movies that when it is time to get serious, it hits. I feel like the serious scenes did not hit because there was so many jokes, not only in every scene, but in the serious scenes. So I couldn't take it seriously. And the serious scenes felt like a car crash from this like comedy that was happening. Oh, right. The quick turn felt fast and weird when Lex put Superman's parents saying take over the earth. It happened like that. It was so quick. And once again, it's like, you have 2 hours in this movie. How does this feel so rushed? Like, it felt like, oh, okay, now everyone hates you. Go. Next thing. Go, go, go. That was supposed to be a serious moment, but then we're joking and be like, Superman, take as many wives as you want. He's going to start a harem. Harem. I don't know how to pronounce it. A harem. Like, this is supposed to be a serious scene. This is the plot of the movie, mind you. The plot of the movie is that people do not like Superman and he's trying to win them back. That's like the underplot of basically the whole fucking movie. Everybody's turning on him, or everyone turned on him. But then you have like a joke in it. Like, it doesn't feel serious. It feels like a comedy. Okay, the zoom camera shots that looked like fisheye, that were not the fisheye lens, because I watched a new Rockstars breakdown and they went over the camera lenses. I thought for the flying it was great, but I felt like it only should have been for the flying. And I do like the camera shots for that because it made it felt a little more comic-y. Like, I liked that style choice, but then when we were just sitting down, it looked a little like weird and out of place to me. He's getting arrested. This should be tense. What is the song that's playing? Given the second time they play like the happy song, that worked. But for this, it didn't work. Now, once again, I didn't see Man of Steel. However, I have seen the clip of Henry Cavill's Superman getting arrested. And that felt tense and serious. A crucial part, or at least a very big part of the plot. And it's like not being taken seriously. It's been undermined, in my opinion, by this like da-da-da-da-da-da song. And I'm pretty sure there's like a phrase for what it's called when like something serious or crazy is happening and the music is very upbeat. I like that. I watched that being featured in a show one time and I thought that was great. So Nicholas Holt is a great actor. The ending scene where Lex was giving the whole dialogue and the whole speech, he was acting his ass off. But you know when an actor is acting their ass off, acting so well, putting their fucking degrees to work, but the dialogue is just not good, so it just like undermines it. That's how I felt. And when I say the dialogue, in my opinion, was not good, I don't mean because it was comic booky. I liked that. I liked the fact that Superman went golly, or darn, I'm such a jerk sometimes. I like that. I like the comic booky things. It's not that. That wasn't what made it bad. It was literally just the bad writing that made it bad, in my opinion. So yeah, he was acting so well, but I just like, it was too much. I think it's called exposition. It was too much like, I'm going to tell you my evil plan now. It was giving like Dr. Doofenshmirtz in Phineas and Ferb, you know? Now we're going to go into the positive thing. So once again, or I don't know if I said it, the happy-go-lucky music worked when Mr. Terrific was fighting. I thought that was a great scene. I thought the camera work for that was great. I'm sure a movie has kind of shown a fight scene happen like that before, but I thought it was great. I loved David's choice for the kind of peeking through transatlantic accent he gave Superman. I thought it was really, really great. And I don't know what year this was set in. This is also like alternate universe, I'm pretty sure. But it was kind of 60s or 40s. It's not going to be as prominent as like Pedro Pascal's voice in Fantastic Four, but I really liked the choice. And once again, I liked the certain things he was saying where he was like, golly and darn. I thought that was great. Also, same with Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor. I thought the way he was talking too was also really, really great. Once again, I liked the comic booky feel. I liked his flying. I thought his flying was great. I liked how colorful it felt. I liked how things didn't feel as realistic and as gritty and as dark. I like that things felt a little bit unrealistic, which is, I feel like, kind of a signature for James Gunn, which is great because it takes you to a different world. It makes you forget what's going on. I liked a lot of the shots. I liked his aesthetic a lot. I liked how Superman was really immature, and the fact that he wants things to be simple as there is good, there is bad, there is justice, there is no justice. However, if you are crash landing into America and have been and lived in America all your life and is now the most powerful metahuman in the world that we know of right now in this current moment in the DC movie universe, and you are going to fly and get yourself inserted into international conflict, like stopping a war, it's going to seem like you are doing it on behalf of America. I liked that he didn't understand that, and that would make sense that he didn't understand that because he was selfish. And while it was coming from a good place, not selfish, but yes, kind of, he was only thinking of himself. He was only thinking of, well, I need to do this because people are dying. And it's just as simple as that. I liked that train of thought, and I liked that Lois was the one to be like, okay, well, I understand how politics work in America and how politics work in the world, and it is not as simple as that. I really fucking liked that. I also think they had great chemistry. They both had very, very good chemistry. The general aesthetic and direction of the way this movie went, I liked. It's something that I liked a lot. It felt like we were in a comic book, which I feel like when I watch a James Gunn movie that's a superhero movie, I feel like we're in a comic book. It felt comic booky, and I loved that. DC right now is in a state where it feels hopeful, and I genuinely think that there's a pretty good chance that the DC movie universe right now, as we go further towards the future, that it might be a like consistently good franchise for the first time ever, maybe, in terms of the live action movies. The animated movies are amazing. And it might rival Marvel with the way the state that Marvel's in right now. Like, obviously we'll see with Fantastic Four, which I think Fantastic Four is going to be great and stuff. But Marvel right now, this I think it's phase 4, with the amount of TV shows and also the movies just not hitting. When I turned, how old was I? I think when I turned 10, 9 turning 10, I went to go see the Captain America movie, the first one, for my birthday, and I was instantly hooked. I am a Marvel fan down. And me as a Marvel fan who would pre-order tickets a week, 2 weeks in advance, pre-ordering tickets to go see, Infinity War or Endgame in high school in class. Like, the Marvel projects really have not been hitting. I think Thunderbolts was great, but right now Thunderbolts felt like far and few in between. And I feel like if DC could really get their shit together, I think they could really it could be Marvel versus DC, like, actually. I'm excited to see David reprise his role as Superman. I'm excited to see these next DC projects. I am gonna watch Peacemaker. I'm actually interested now. Shout out John Cena. Popped so hard for John Cena. I'm still kind of a wrestling fan, but I used to be a wrestling fan hard. Shout out John Cena. Shout out Beck Bennett. I'm from New York, so SNL is my pride. I was so happy when I saw Beck Bennett. So fucking happy. I think because I feel like I genuinely understand where James Gunn is trying to go in terms of the direction of this, universe. Like, I feel like while there were parts of this movie I didn't like, because I feel like if the bad timing, the dialogue being kind of weird, and the telling and not showing, if you put that in any movie, it's going to not be a good movie. I feel like in terms of that textbook, what makes a good movie, I feel like it took away from that. But I think because there was a theme, like, if all those things were happening in this movie and there wasn't really a theme a theme that cohesively tied the movie together, then it wouldn't be good. But since there was a theme and aesthetic that cohesively tied the movie together, I couldn't say it was bad. And on top of that, there were so many jokes to the point where when we did a hard turn right to go and be serious, if you already have a joke, if you already have at least 4 jokes in every single scene, and then when you go to a serious scene and also have jokes in those scenes, nothing is going to feel serious and like there is a certain weight to it. Like, this is a superhero movie and there are big stakes and the world is going to end and the world was literally tearing a rift, but I felt like I couldn't take it seriously because there were so many jokes. Like, those parts were the main parts for me that I didn't like, and I felt like it was too much and could have been tweaked and edited. However, like I said before, the themes and the theming of what James Gunn does and the aesthetic of this movie, I thought it was great. So that is how I felt. That is why I felt confused coming out of this movie, and I still don't know what to rate it. In terms of like entertaining, 8 out of 10. I think you'll have a great time, and I think you absolutely should go see this movie. I absolutely do not regret seeing this movie. I'm very happy that I saw this movie. I just don't know what to give it. I feel like, once again, if you're learning how to make a good movie, I feel like when you take that class, there are certain things that class tells you to do, and I feel like it tells you to do and not do, and I feel like there were certain things that you don't do when you're trying to make a very good movie that were here. However, once again, I do not think this movie was bad. I don't know what to rate this. I'm going to rate this a hopeful smiley face question mark out of 10. That's what I'm going to rate this. A confusing rating for my emotions of being confused. But yes, I hope you liked this video. I will be doing more integrating other fixations like Marvel and DC and sports and F1 into this channel. But yes, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, Superman.